Lewis and Clark in Helena, the state capital. The drive from Great Falls to Helena reaches a maximum elevation of approximately 4,634 feet, 1,412 meters. I started around 3,313 feet in Great Falls and gained roughly 1,321 feet over the course of the 90-mile journey. The route follows Interstate 15, winding through Little Prickly Pear Canyon and past landmarks such as Sebin, Wolf Creek, and the Gates of the Mountains. After my time on the water, I departed the Gates of the Mountains and climbed inland toward Helena, the Queen City of the Rockies. It's a gradual incline with scenic views, especially as you approach Helena, nestled in the foothills of the Rockies. Montana became the 41st state of the United States on November 8, 1889, by presidential proclamation from President Benjamin Harrison. Before that, it spent 25 years as a territory, carved from the Idaho Territory in 1864, after a gold rush in Bannock and Virginia City sparked demands for local governance. The statue standing proudly in front of the Montana state capitol is of Thomas Francis Meagher, an Irish revolutionary exiled for his role in the 1848 uprising against British rule. He escaped to the U.S., became a Union general during the Civil War, and later served as territorial secretary and acting governor of Montana. His life ended mysteriously in 1867, when he vanished from a steamboat near Fort Benton. His body was never found. The statue atop the Montana State Capitol dome is named Montana, though for decades she was mistakenly called Lady Liberty. She's a copper-clad figure in flowing neoclassical robes, holding a torch in one hand and a shield in the other, symbolizing enlightenment and protection. She's been standing watch over Helena since 1901. The bell in the lobby is the Montana Statehood Centennial Bell, and it's more than just a decorative piece. It commemorates 100 years of Montana's statehood, from 1889 to 1989, and stands as a symbolic echo of the state's founding moment. Its location in the lobby makes it one of the first things visitors see, almost like a welcoming chime from history. The plaque reads, Montana Statehood Centennial Bell, 1889 to 1989, a quiet but powerful reminder of the state's journey. The stairwell inside the Montana State Capitol is a showpiece of architectural elegance, and the windows are a notable feature. It's located beneath the central dome. The main stairwell is a sweeping double staircase made of Tennessee marble. It's flanked by bronze railings and surrounded by murals. When I climb the steps, the Capitol's art and history seem to rise with me, with each step a passage through Montana's story. The dome windows. These windows filter natural light into the rotunda, casting soft color onto the marble and murals below. The effect is a quiet glow that honors both the land and the labor that built the state. Atop the grand stairway landing is the mural titled Driving the Golden Spike by Amédée Jullien. Painted in 1903, it commemorates the completion of the Northern Pacific Railroad's transcontinental line at Gold Creek, Montana, on September 8, 1883. The man holding the pick or sledgehammer is former President Ulysses S. Grant, who symbolically drove the golden spike during the ceremony. At the very top of the Montana State Capitol dome is the painted Oculus, which is a circular architectural opening that serves as the dome's eye to the sky. It's the central circle at the apex of the dome's interior. Though it's not open to the sky, it's designed to draw the eye upward, creating a sense of vertical grandeur and aspiration. The art is all from Montana-connected artists, making it feel more like a homegrown museum than a government building. Every wing holds a different mood, from Russell's frontier diplomacy to DeCamp's serene landscapes, Paxson's dramatic histories to Ferguson's mural honoring Montana's women. A living museum of Montana artists, with 34 murals and 8 sculptures, the Capitol showcases works by Charles M. Russell, Edgar S. Paxson, Ralph E. DeCamp, and modern contributors such as Hadley Ferguson. Unlike most capitals that feature national artists, Montana insisted its art reflect local values, heritage, and land. Edgar Samuel Paxson painted at least 8 known works of Lewis and Clark scenes because he saw their expedition as a cornerstone of Montana's identity, and he felt a personal calling to preserve it through art. He arrived in Montana in 1877, just after the Battle of the Little Bighorn, and was deeply moved by the fading frontier and the stories of its people. Paxson believed the core of Discovery's journey was Montana's founding myth, a moment of diplomacy, exploration, and cultural exchange. Edgar Samuel Paxson created fewer than a dozen works directly related to the Lewis and Clark expedition. While his overall body of work comprises over 2,000 pieces, many of which focus on Native Americans and frontier life, his Lewis and Clark-themed paintings were more selective and purposeful. The painting of Sacagawea, Lewis and Clark at Three Forks by Edgar S. Paxson is the original mural, created in 1912 specifically for the Montana State Capitol. It's one of 6 historical scenes Paxson painted for the House of Representatives lobby, and it's considered a foundational piece of Montana's visual storytelling. The original oil on canvas, measuring 81 inches by 153 inches, still hanging in its intended location, Paxson painted Sacagawea front and center, signaling the expedition's arrival at her people's hunting grounds. His paintings often featured Sacagawea, emphasizing her role as a guide and cultural bridge, a choice that reflected his respect for Native American contributions. Edgar S. Paxson's murals in the Montana State Capitol are located in the House of Representatives lobby. Paxson was commissioned to paint 6 historical large oil-on-canvas murals, each measuring roughly 81 inches by 153 inches, or 81 inches by 47 inches. They include Lewis and Clark at Three Forks, Lewis at Black Eagle Falls Surrender of Chief Joseph. After Whiteman's book, Pierre de la Vérendrye, the borderland Paxson and Russell had a long-standing friendship, and Charlie Russell once said that Ralph E. DeCamp painted the wettest water he had ever seen, so wet you could hear it ripple. Charles Marion Russell, often called Charlie Russell or the cowboy artist, was one of Montana's most iconic storytellers, not just with words but with paint, clay, and bronze. Born in 1864 in St. Louis, he came west at the age of 16 and never looked back. He lived the life he depicted: cowboy, trapper, friend to native communities, and keen observer of a vanishing frontier. Meeting Indians at Ross's Hole by Charles M. Russell, which depicts Lewis and Clark, hangs in the House chambers of the Montana State Capitol. It's one of the few Capitol artworks that directly portrays the expedition, showing the Corps in peaceful exchange with the Salish people. Charles M. Russell's presence in the Montana State Capitol is iconic and singular. He contributed one monumental mural to the building, but it's arguably the most famous artwork in the entire Capitol. It's located above the Speaker's rostrum in the House of Representatives chamber. The mural measures 25 feet wide by 12 feet high, a sweeping canvas that captures cultural exchange, depicts the Corps of Discovery meeting the Flathead Salish people in 1805, with Sacagawea shown as a bridge between worlds. Ralph Earl DeCamp was born in Attica, New York, in 1858. He eventually settled in Helena, where he became renowned not just for his talent, but for his almost spiritual dedication to immortalizing the land itself, including mountains, rivers, and skies, with remarkable clarity and reverence. In a way, DeCamp's work feels like a quiet continuation of the Lewis and Clark expedition. He didn't walk the trail with them, but he stood where they stood, saw what they saw, and that's what I'm doing now on this journey. One of DeCamp's most evocative Capitol murals is Gates of the Mountains, 1911, a sidelong view of the Missouri River framed by towering cliffs. This is the very place Meriwether Lewis named in 1805, writing of its sublime and extraordinary spectacle. DeCamp's painting doesn't dramatize the moment, it channels its stillness and its grandeur. He wasn't just painting Montana, he was documenting the land that Lewis and Clark once described in words, translating their journals into visual memory. Ralph DeCamp's landscape murals grace the former law library in the east wing of the Montana State Capitol in Helena. This space, now a quiet gallery of sorts, is home to 10 of his significant oil-on-canvas works, each measuring approximately 42 inches by 83 inches. Rather than dramatizing historical events, DeCamp chose to honor Montana's natural beauty as the central subject. His landscapes often depict sites the Corps of Discovery passed through, such as the Bitterroot Valley and the Gallatin River. DeCamp contributed photographs and maps to Olin D. Wheeler's The Trail of Lewis and Clark, 1904, the first travelogue of the expedition's journey. His painting, The Heart of the Gates of the Rocky Mountains, was featured in that work. While early murals depicted battles and landscapes, Women Build Montana showcases quiet acts of community and resilience. The Women Build Montana mural is a powerful tribute to the women who have shaped Montana's communities, culture, and politics. On the Capitol's third floor, Montana's women are depicted in paint as traders, teachers, mothers, and makers. Created by Hadley Ferguson, a Missoula-based artist, after extensive collaboration with historians and community groups. The mural honors all women, not just prominent figures, celebrating everyday contributions and illustrating how women contributed to the development of Montana's social institutions, including libraries, schools, shelters, unions, and more. As I left the Montana State Capitol, I turned back to take one last look. I've visited most state houses across the country, but something about this one stayed with me. The murals painted by Montana artists not only decorated the building, but also told its story. They honored the land, the people, and the journey of Lewis and Clark in ways I hadn't expected. And then I saw the cutout of Lewis and Clark, silhouetted against the sky, still watching, moving forward. That small detail makes me feel complete. I was overwhelmed, and I was grateful that I stopped. Standing there, I couldn't help but think. The men and the women of the Corps of Discovery would be proud of how the state of Montana continues to honor them. Through murals, memory, and quiet outlines, the story lives on.